All right, welcome to the XIV podcast, episode number 3. You got your hosts, Famous,
Tech.
And Lil Pika.
Little Pika, Tech 9. He still gets angry when I say that.
Yeah, it's not Tech 9.
Whatever. So that's a little joke. His name is Tech, but I like to call him Tech 9. Today we don't have Sam 5000 moving the bricks. I heard he's taking a little vacation, moving a brick. You know, he's doing what he says, moving the brick.
Cooking it up in the kitchen.
Since it's just the three of us, and I think we should just, since this is the XIV podcast, and we've never actually talked about what is XIV. Like, I guess people, if they actually look into us, they can figure it out. But it's better to have a video and, just to say what XIV is, where it came from, the origins. Tell the people some of our mistakes, what we've done, what we've been up to, what we're going to do. So, all right, let's say the origin. I wasn't really involved in the origin, like the founding, if that makes sense, since I came in a little bit after that. Pika was there from the start, but he's not actually a founder either. But he has an idea. Like, he was part of it, but he wasn't the founder, which I don't even think it matters because
All the founders are gone.
well, first of all, they're gone, and then I hate it when like, oh yeah, I started that, dog. No, you didn't. You came up with the name and then left.
It was just
Like,
a concept. Then
like, oh yeah, the person who's the people who are actually trying to build the whole thing, they don't get no recognition. Get out my face. But all right, Pika. So started off. Where'd XIV come from?
well, it started up around 2015. It started as just like kind of sound a little old, but a clan back on the Xbox days. Trash talking about your mama, and so it was just it was founded by Yanni, Ursa, Danny, and Beto. And so yeah, it just started with them, and it slowly expanded to me, Quiz, Callis Blue, and Rico, for the most part. And it was just as a way to be a group.
I remember
with each
y'all
other.
talked a lot about a guy named Socks.
Socks.
Yeah.
That didn't come until later on.
Oh,
But yeah, he was just another person that we would game with.
I think I met him once. He's
Are
the bald
you sure you were
dude,
talking
right?
about Joseph?
Oh
I don't remember
yeah,
his
yeah.
gamer tag.
Now it's coming back to me.
Yeah.
Oh, but that's beside the point. Okay, so it started off as a gaming clan.
Yeah.
So,
And we're all pretty local. So we eventually, met up. Like, they all went to the same middle school or something.
okay. All right, so that's the origin right there. So it started off as a clan. Oh my god, that sounds so weird, boomer. That sounded weird. But okay, so how did it transition into what it is now as a music group?
Started off with Chris wanting to do music, but that was before XIV, right?
Yeah, that was before XIV where it is now. Like, it wasn't anything like record label-y. But yeah, it started more or less after, once we were just hanging out. There's a whole era of YouTube where it was like, diss tracks was popular. So I'm assuming he like hopped on that train a little bit. That's where he started taking on the form of being like a rapper. Or, right now, back then it was just for fun.
I can actually speak on this since I was actually part of this for the most, or I witnessed this. The whole diss era on YouTube. You all know that are listening. Rice Gum. Back when KSI, the Sidemen, and everybody started doing diss raps, making videos on it, monetizing it. Before the whole boxing era came on, it was the first of diss tracks. And then y'all started doing diss tracks on each other, and then that's where Callus Blue got the spark to to start rapping. He went by a different name, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, he can tell you in person.
If you want to know what his original rapper name,
Yeah.
just go ahead and ask him. But yeah, so Callous Blue was born. So he started rapping, and then one day everybody's just chilling, and then he's like, "I want to take this seriously. Like, I honestly wanna try giving rap a real shot." So we're like, "All right, let's do it. Like, it's we'll help you. Like, we'll support you. Whatever.
Mhm.
We'll help you as much as we can."
What was his first song that he released, like before the studio and everything? That's when he.
He released a whole bunch of songs.
Oh yeah, but like, what was one of his first ones? As Callous Blue.
First, as Callous Blue.
Yeah. Was it-
Flexing.
Oh yeah, that was my favorite one.
At
Yeah.
that time. 'Cause
At that time,
that was
yeah.
the transition between his old persona.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
Callous
And
Blue was
Callous Blue.
born, he released Flexing.
Yeah, the transition from his previous song to that song was dramatic in a sense of style.
Yeah.
I
Don't
guess.
get lost in the forest.
Yeah.
Ask him about that. But yeah, so Chris went on to release Flexing, and then from there he released France.
I could have sworn he released Mad first.
No,
No?
because France was actually his old song. Like, he released it under his old name.
Mhm.
But then after he went to Callous Blue, like, he redid a few things and then released it again as Callous Blue.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is before I'm in XIV. I think like a few months before I'm in XIV.
Yeah, that was like half a year before.
Yeah, half a year pretty much.
Yeah.
But okay, so Callous Blue decides to take this whole the rapping seriously, so we support him. At the time, he was rapping out of his room.
SoundCloud beginnings.
Yeah, the good old SoundCloud days, even though everybody hates them. But I didn't think they were that bad. That was when Little Pump was on top of the world. You had Little Xan, Smoke Perp.
They all fell off.
Yeah.
All
Little
of
Boy Cantu, Twippy Red. That's my dog. There's a few other people that, the SoundCloud era. There's only a few that actually stuck around with like longevity, but that's beside the point. So I decide to, in my way to help Chris. Well, originally, when Chris first started rapping, like, he was rapping off of like a $100 mic.
I think
Like-
it was cheaper. It
Like
was
a
bad
really
mic.
cheap mic off, like he bought from Walmart or something. And then I had a pretty decent mic. I had like a Rode NT,
NT1? That's a pretty basic
NT1,
one.
whatever. Like, it was a decent mic.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
you still like, it's still a decent mic. I still have it. So I'm like, here, Chris, use this mic. All you gotta do is buy the interface. Like, buy a cheap one and try to make something.
Yeah, and before he was recording on a free program, I guess, where he can only record like a few seconds of lines.
Yeah, he started recording on Audacity.
Yeah. He only had a few seconds before it would just stop recording.
Yeah, that was a struggle.
Mhm.
So I gave him the mic so he can, if he says he wants to take it seriously, let's do it. So I give him the mic, and then that's when his quality got somewhat better. Like, he still, had no idea what he was doing. Like, that's understandable. Like, when you're new to something,
Yeah, that's everybody's
you
process.
start from the bottom.
Yeah.
And so he actually released Flexing, France, and then he released Mad. Mad was one of the songs that actually got a little bit of traction in the very beginning. Before that, I decided to turn my garage into a studio, a fully functional studio, which is where we're at right now.
Yeah, a lot of money.
Yeah, we spent some money. We basically remodeled the entire garage. Like, we had to make room. Dude, we're Mexican, but I have no idea how to do any of this stuff. Like, I'm not a real Mexican. I don't know how to do, like, we had to learn how to make a wall, dog.
Yeah.
Like,
For
we
the
redid the
recording
whole
booth.
studio, the whole nine. We bought really good monitors. We got a really good mic,
Guitar rigs.
interfaces, preamps.
Well, yeah. Beyond just doing the equipment, we had to buy fresh paint.
Yeah, we had a paint, new drywall,
new doors, everything.
like the whole nine. We redid. Like it's a decent studio for a home studio that we're not professional. Well, yeah, we weren't professionals. It was decent. It wasn't the best in the world. Any of us will admit it, but it got the job done. Like it gave a place for creativity, like for you to like here in the studio. Nobody's gonna care that you're blasting music at 3 a.m. Like at like a in a house like that's surrounded by other people, you're gonna get some noise complaints if you blast music at 3 a.m. Here, you don't like you have free range of everything, fully functional studio, and
Technically, we're the only studio in this city, Fort Pierce. That's an actual studio, not a closet.
I mean, there's a couple.
I mean, in Fort Pierce.
yeah, there's a couple studios, but they're all like this to be honest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're not great.
Like
They're not professional.
Like if you're talking about like a fully like professional, like where like there's like maybe two, but they're using the same equipment. They just got more. They just got more. They have more time in the game. At this point, like we haven't even started. We hadn't even like done anything. Callus Blue had been rapping seriously for like 2 months, and he was already getting some traction. And we finished the studio. He releases Mad, and that song actually did pretty good. It got like back in the day, like these numbers, even now, it's still not a lot. But for us, people who like just decided to do this out of nowhere, it was a pretty decent amount. Like the song broke 10K in less than a month. Like
it was just like a couple weeks.
yeah, it was a couple weeks and it broke 10K. Like you had no jumper playing it. Like the song took off for the most part. Then you had Money then he released the song Money, which had a little bit of still had a little bit of buzz. So that one instantly like went to like 4K, and it died down a little bit because Chris was a little bit hesitant to release music after that because he was trying to get better quality in terms of like his mixing and mastering, and so his release rate went down a lot, but his quality kept like slowly going up, and that's basically how XIV became like involved in music. We had other endeavors after that, like since we had a functional studio. There were some people that kept hitting us up for studio time, like they wanted to record. I'm like, whatever, let's do it. We have might as well makes money while we do this. And what was their name? The first ones that came to record, Ozzy Boy.
Oh, they were the first. Oh yeah, Ozzy
Yeah,
Boy.
they were the first.
I don't even remember the other one. I just know my man NASCAR.
Oh, okay. I was here to record them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that man spent months writing that song.
Yeah.
He's still writing the second one.
Yeah.
Probably.
Jesus.
Yes. So we had our first public or first studio session to like somebody that wasn't part of XIV. That was like a clean one.
Mm-hmm.
You record,
Yeah, it was.
get out. Like,
Here and done.
like straight up. Like
here
we
and done.
mix it, like whatever. Like put it out. We don't care. What got under my skin for a little bit was like, oh, XIV Records ain't letting us put out the music.
Oh yeah,
And
he was
then
trying to
I'm like-
advertise it like as if we were their management.
Yeah, like if we signed them, and then we're like, what? Like we were going down 95 when he posted this.
I guess they try to make some drama out of nothing.
Nah,
I guess.
No.
He
He's
just
just trying to
wanted to feel
use
cool.
a little bit of clout that we
Yeah,
had.
yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Just
he
trying to make
decided
something out of
to-
nothing.
He posted because he had like a Instagram timer of when the song was gonna drop, and the timer went out and nothing dropped. Then he posts, "Oh yeah, label ain't letting me put it out." XIV Records.
I mean, it wasn't a big deal,
I guess
but
I know it wasn't a big deal, but it was just hilarious.
yeah.
But let me. I'm getting sidetracked. At this point in time, in the story, there are a few members in XIV. I'm gonna count them out because it's only fair. They may not be a part of XIV now, but they were there from the beginning. Okay, let me count them out. It was me, Pika, Sam, Rico, Blue, Tech, Ursa, Beto, Danny,
Wait, did you count Kois?
Quist. There's 10.
There was 10 back then.
There was 10.
Well, actually, he had left by the time we made the studio.
Yeah, you're right. There was only 9.
So there were only 9.
Yeah, so even before this thing could start, we lost a member.
Well, I mean, we didn't lose them because of creative differences or anything.
He just decided to leave. Like,
I mean, he wanted a different lifestyle because back then we were a little bit more sedentary. We weren't really doing much.
Fair enough, but he chose what he chose,
Mhm.
and it's like a whatever.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with the kid, but I just wouldn't want him in XIV anymore. As it stands, I like loyalty is a big thing when it comes to anything, including business. Like that's one thing that I've learned in this music industry, that there's a lot of rats in this game, in the music. Like as somebody as new as we are, I already fully understand that. Like it's not even I know that you better watch your back. No, like we've been burned a few times.
Yeah, taking a
And
few
you
L's.
gotta learn, like this in this industry, if you don't learn that from the rip, you are gonna get how do you say that word? They're gonna take advantage of you.
Oh, yeah, taking advantage.
A lot of people will take advantage of you if you do not learn to how to do everything from the rip.
Just business in general too.
It is business in general, like that's a common thing, but I feel like it's even more in entertainment in general. In entertainment,
Mhm.
there's a lot of rats.
Well, I mean, yeah, because you don't want to break connections. You want to try to,
Or burn bridges, you know.
yeah, exactly. Like, but at the same time, it's just fake.
Yeah, there's a lot of fake people. That's why I just said loyalty is something that if you find somebody in the music industry that actually has loyalty, like even now I have certain people that I can honestly say like they're like loyalty is a big thing to them, and if loyalty is a big thing to them, I know they would never do no snake. They would never betray somebody like in terms of what like has happened to us in the past.
But yeah, then after, we had these Migos come in, that do corridos, or I guess you call them corridos. I'm not sure because
It's
I don't really listen to that kind of music up until they were introduced to us.
It was another endeavor that we did. This one was not just it started off as studio time, and then you got studio time. To be honest, we didn't know what we were doing at first. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Like,
I mean, we were
Yeah.
also learning because
Yeah,
the fact
I was
that we had to
still-
learn
Dude,
how to record.
I was still
instruments.
learning how to record people's vocals. I mean, I knew the fundamentals of it because I'm already, I guess a producer, so I know how to work with vocals and record basic things, But other than that, I'm not a full, engineer, but
yeah, like
I know my way around it.
okay. So let me explain a little bit about the group. It was a banda, like Mexican music, and so this included laying down instrumentals live in person.
Yep.
Something that, dude, we had been in the game for like 2 months. Like, when you're a SoundCloud rapper, just get the 2 track, put some vocals on it, maybe a little bit of effects, you're good.
That's it.
That's it. But we had never dealt with live instruments. That was another whole like endeavor. Like, you had to get them on beat, then you had to get the secondary instrumental and put that on beat.
Just layering on top of layering. I knew what to do because, I'm already used to
Yeah, but you didn't account for
timing.
human error.
Yeah, human error. So I worked around it. I took whatever the best loop I could find from their recording and then just loop it.
How long
throughout.
was the first recording session?
The first recording session, we took about 6 hours to lay down one instrumental.
Mm-hmm.
It was ridiculous. But like I said, we had just started off. Like,
Yeah.
we aren't gonna be the greatest right off the bat. Like, especially when it came to live instruments, and then you have kids that they're good at playing, but they're not good at staying in tempo.
Oh yeah, one thing too, they're teenagers. They're like 16.
The youngest one was
like
15 at the time.
15. No, it was 16, and then the other one was like
the
17.
Other was old.
No. Aaron was the only one that was old. The
Yeah,
rest
he
of
was
them
old.
were like 15, 16.
I was 15 at the time.
Yeah, at the time.
But yeah, I guess I don't know if it was the first recording or the other recording when their parents actually came in.
It was the second one.
Yeah,
Second.
second time.
I mean, we could say the
Pause.
name. I mean,
We'll see.
Yeah,
So basically, I don't want to give out no names because it doesn't really matter to me, to be honest. This is just a lesson for y'all to learn. Like, of course, we're still not big, but we have some sort of connections in the industry. Like if I text somebody right now, I can get in touch with
certain people,
certain big artists.
Yeah, I won't say their name.
Yeah. Like, we're somewhat in there. Like, we're not the biggest. We're not. We've been in it for a few years and we've done good for ourselves.
Yeah, we're still learning.
Yeah, like we still have some more.
But
more
in
things to
terms of when that happened with the whole Migo things.
learn. But let's lay it down.
Yeah.
Let's lay it down. I just want to get my point across that. Like, who are these people that are trying to give me advice on the music industry? Like, we're not big, but we're not inexperienced.
We're not clueless.
We have experience in this industry. It may not be a lot, but we have a little bit. And our experience does count for something because we, like I'm telling you, we have decent connections so far. And okay, so they book this little Mexican group books studio time, whatever. They know Rico or
They
Chris.
knew Sam.
No, they knew
They
Rico.
knew kind of Rico and.
No, they worked
Chris.
together.
Huh?
Aaron.
Well, Aaron knew Chris. That was their connection.
Yeah,
But,
well, he was in the
but
group.
Sam was the one that knew about them being a band.
Yeah, so basically they get in touch with one of us. Either it was Rico, Chris, or Sam, one of them. And I'm like, all right, whatever, just let's do this. Like, I was a little bit hesitant at first because, like I said, we had never worked with live instruments. Like, nobody in the group had. Like, Jimmy has experience layering, like, but it's mostly a virtual.
Yeah,
virtual,
more trap. Nothing to do with like any like live instruments like guitar or layering.
So we were
voices.
we were a little bit hesitant, but whatever. We'll give it a try. What's the worst that can happen? And boom, 6 hours later, we get their first song done, and they're all happy. Whatever. We don't even charge them at first because they were gonna come back and do more songs. Like, their whole plan was to do like an album straight away so they can slowly release music over the course of a few months. But the second time they're here in the studio, they actually talk about like their current situation. Like, they were signed or managed by another artist here in South Florida. I forget his name. It doesn't even matter. And they're saying like they want to get out of that contract. And we're like, did you sign anything? They're like, no.
Then there's no contract.
Yeah, so they're like, so they don't got nothing
But even if
over
they
you?
did want to sign something, they're under the age of 18, so they would have to have their parents here too.
Yeah. But
To sign anything.
to my point is, like, they were a little bit clueless at first. They're like, yeah, like, we want to leave them.
I mean, they were amazed about anything. Like, they were just staring, like drooling, looking at all the
Well, they
equipment
were
we
little
have and
kids.
stuff.
I'll give them that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly.
I don't like to this day. I don't hold anything against them because they were really young. Like,
Naive.
you can't get mad at somebody that's hungry to make it. But they did do some messed up things. But it would be a completely different thing if they do it right now because they're older now. I think one of the fools already 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like one of the younger ones. Okay, so second studio session, they show up again. We start recording the second one, and these are not short studio sessions. They are having a hard time
Staying on beat.
staying on beat. What they would do, they would lay their first instrument, they would lay the first guitar, and then go in with a secondary guitar, and they were having such a hard time staying on tempo. So these sessions were insanely long, and we weren't the best at it yet. Like, so the sessions took forever, and then during the sessions, we were like, they started talking about they want to leave their management, and then so we resolved that they leave them, and then for the most part, we start managing their career. And then when I mean manage their career, I mean we managed their career. Like,
And mind you, we weren't even charging them at this point. We were just trying to like literally help them out.
yeah.
just
yeah,
help
like we
them
were
out.
helping. Like, no money was exchanged to this point.
Yeah, just literally. I guess technically you could say there was hundreds of dollars. I guess in the
Oh,
thousands.
dude, thousands.
Yeah, thousands.
And the
Because
amount
I
of
heard you
time-
guys would
'cause
just be up until 5 a.m. in the morning
It's
still
not
recording.
even that. Like, when I said we managed, we held their hand doing everything.
Y'all helped them make an email account just because they didn't know how that worked.
Okay,
Oh
so
my God.
we helped them make email accounts, make their SoundCloud, their DistroKid, everything. We made we made artwork for their songs,
Yep.
their album. We did everything for them. Every song that they were putting out, we mixed, we mastered, we recorded, we did everything.
But we did one mistake.
We did one mistake.
It only took one mistake too, and it's something you should always consider if you're trying to manage in general.
Okay, so we did all that. We did the biggest mistake. If you read any book, if you read any big book or watch any YouTube video on record label or management for any artist, I don't care how close you are. The most important thing is to get them under contract.
Paperwork.
Have some sort of legal document to protect you. That doesn't matter if they're your best friend, doesn't matter if they're your cousin, doesn't matter if they're your brother. Like, if you are investing into their future in terms of like career wise, you better have some sort of like safety net in case it turned out to be a snake. So, okay, back to the Mexican group. So we did all that. We helped them out. Next thing you know, they get hit up by a record label that's a little bit more established than us. And then I'm like, whatever. They at least talk to us. Nope. They came and talked to us like, oh no, we turned them down. 2 days later, they're on live. Like 15 people all screaming.
No, there was
that
way
they
more
were-
than
they-
15.
They basically do a live, and they're signing their contract with the other people. So and
They
then
they got swayed into something, into signing something they weren't even getting an advance for. They weren't getting paid.
I
I'm gonna let
don't
you
think I don't think we're allowed to talk about that.
No, we can talk about that. We're not naming any names.
Okay, let's just say
Or any people.
Let's just say we got a copy of an alleged agreement from them. Allegedly.
Alleged.
Allegedly.
Let me tell you, that contract
It's
is
trash.
scummy.
It's trash. Always, every time you're gonna sign a contract, it does not matter. You always have a lawyer, a third party lawyer. It doesn't matter who you are or who they are. They could be trying to ruin your life. All they want is that little bit of money that you might have coming in, or anything in general.
I
Always
wonder
have.
how like legal it actually is though, because like I'm pretty sure they didn't get it notarized or anything, and they're underage.
Yeah, and they were underage, so I'm not sure if their parents were even there when they signed anything.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I wonder how they're legally binded they actually are.
But the thing is, it's because they're a more established they're a more established label than us.
I mean, they're part of a branch off of they're basically a twig. They're part of a branch off of a branch off of a branch. So you can't even say they have some sort of funding to fund them.
Of course not. They had to do everything on their own.
Yeah, they have. They still have to do
Dude,
everything
and
on their own.
Do you understand the amount of? I don't think we should talk about that one.
No, we could talk about it. Just
about-
don't
I mean,
don't
we can
say
cut
any
it.
names.
We can cut it, but like,
Okay,
what are you trying to talk
dude,
about?
they came back asking us to record for them again after they did that to us, and then they had the nerve to say, "Why are you charging us so much?" When I'm like, "I will work with you again, but you gotta pay
What you owe.
pay what you owe." Like, we did all that. Nothing is for free.
Mhm.
Like,
And you gave them a discount.
Yep.
For the most part, we
yeah.
like
So
underballed
we gave them a figure to pay.
Yeah, you lowballed them actually, but to them it was still.
We gave him a certain figure to pay. It was nothing outrageous. Like I said, I was being totally fair. Like, we legit built their career. I'll be honest with you, we built it.
Yeah, because they weren't gonna notice if they didn't have those 2 songs out.
Yeah, and the 2 songs that they recorded that we recorded, we still have the right, well, basically the masters to it. So they have to basically re-record those songs in order to have their own masters, but with what equipment?
Well, they did find a different studio,
Which is,
but it was like the same struggles because I can hear it in their music.
yeah, their vocals are like
So,
compressed.
the instrument they had like if you're not into Mexican music and you're trying to record like them for the first time, you will hear it in the way that the instruments are layered, that it just doesn't flow right. They still have that issue, but that's beside the point.
Yeah.
They had the audacity to come back and ask us to record, and then when we said pay us what we are owed, like, mind you, at this point in time, we had some people backing us up, like, in terms of, I can't say that. Okay, so basically the whole point about that whole tangent on like the Mexican group and all that is, better have your paperwork in order. I don't care how friendly y'all are. Like,
Yep.
no matter, y'all can be the best friends. Have your paperwork in line. If you are trying to work with each other and then just sketch on it, don't even work together. Like, I see that happen so often. You get random producers following you, and then you hit them up, like, whatever, like, I'm trying to make connections out here, and then like they're starting off. Next thing you know, a month down the road, they unfollow you because they get a placement, and I'm like, dog, you fake. And I can name one, and you probably know him, Jimmy.
Yeah, I know who he is.
Like, it's crazy. I hate that unfollow and follow, dog. Like, I hate that with a passion. Yeah, that just shows the type of person that you are. I've probably done that too. Never mind. I'm just kidding. Like, I usually don't unfollow
but
people.
But a little bit of a little bit of clout and over your head.
Yeah. And now they're being managed by people that you know. So you unfollowed me, and now if we ever see each other, what, you throwing hands? Bet you're gonna dodge the fade too. I don't fade. I got people for that. Feel me?
I feel you.
But yeah, with the whole Mexican thing, it wasn't even about the money anymore. It was about the principle.
It was never about the money.
Yeah,
Nah.
it was never about the money.
It was an investment.
But when it's business, you actually have to focus. You can't just
Yeah,
be slacking off.
I've been in a studio where it's literally the only artist is in there, and then everybody else who doesn't really have a purpose being in there. It's just
They just want to be cool by being in the studio.
no, it's not even that. They're like leeches. They're just there. They're waiting for him to do something
We
or
had
go to a
leeches too.
club where he could pay for everybody.
We had leeches too. We cut them off real quick.
Yeah. Nah, but for real, I've been in the studio where I just see a bunch of leeches. Like, you can just tell off the top. They're just there waiting. They want to get that those crumbs that are falling off the wrapper.
Mhm.
Even I was surprised too. I'm like he can't see this. There's a bunch of people just literally sitting around.
Like what Young Boy said, cut off my day ones for the win. I felt that. Not all your day ones are gonna be with you through everything.
Yeah.
I felt that. Also, when he said, "I got iceberg with my heart at," I felt that. When he said, "I'm a lonely child," I felt that.
How often do you just sit in your bed at night?
How
listening to
often
a
do
Young
you
Boy?
feel that?
The new one I've been listening to is Rags to Riches. Rags to Riches. Rags to Riches.